Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Disco Kitty, the Crappy Crafter. Today, we're going to be working on a couple of molds from Craft Kitsune. It's not the kit, it's not the monthly box, I haven't got that yet. When I signed up, I missed out on March, so I'm gonna get April, so we'll get one next month. We'll see. So, first off, we're going to play with this. It's a little koi fish pond. It has two sizes of pond and then a whole bunch of little fish and a frog and some flowers and lily pads and stuff. I'm really excited about that because I love everything koi fish related. I really do. So if it has koi fish, I love it. Next up, we're going to work on this little trinket box. I'm kind of hoping it'll be big enough to be a dice box, but we'll see what happens. I haven't tried it yet, obviously, so we'll see what happens. I'm probably going to try these with some UV resin instead of 2-part epoxy resin because I am lazy and impatient. So let's try it. Let's get into it. Okay, starting with the koi fish mold. We're going to start by putting this really pale green into the froggy. It's going to come out a lot deeper green than I expect later, which is awesome. This is some holographic green, which doesn't work so well, so I'm going to go over it with a green chrome, which works a lot better. And then we'll do a green chrome on this little one. And then we'll use a gold chrome on 2 of the fish. It doesn't pick up quite as well as the next color, which is going to be a multicolor chrome on the flower. And then a holographic glitter for the other 2 fish, and this works really well. This is also a buffin style glitter used on nail polish. It works really well. Gonna put a piece of tape on that to protect it, and reposition it to make sure it's in the right spot, and then we're going to use this second multicolor chrome powder. It shifts between a whole bunch of different colors. As you can see here, it's purple in the jar and it's kind of a reddish brown on the silicone, and later it will be an even different color, which is so cool. Like I said earlier, we're going to use UV resin for these, and I probably should not have done that, but it works. 2 drops of black because I don't want it to be too opaque, although it's going to be anyways, and the light's not really going to cure it as well as I want it to. But I'll leave it in the sun for like a week and it'll be fine. Whenever you use a chrome powder that you've brushed onto the mold itself, you want to use a dark background. If you go for light backgrounds, it'll come up a completely different color than it will if you use a black background. Here, I'm going to try to squish all the bubbles out of the corners, and that works surprisingly well. Probably shouldn't have filled up the mold quite so much before I did that, because you can see over there on the right I tipped it out a little bit, but that's okay. We'll tip it back in and it'll be alright. Hit it with the torch, get rid of the bubbles. Next we'll fill up all the other little tiny cavities with some of the same black. Like I said, if you want your chrome to really pop, you want to use a dark color. If you don't, it comes out a little bit more iridescent in the end, especially the lighter colors, like that frog would definitely not have come out green if I had used a white background resin. And you'll notice I keep putting my hand next to the torch, and that's because I have a fan blowing from the left to make sure all the fumes are not right in my face. Here is where I mess up a little bit. I do try to squidgy out some of the bubbles, but I miss one. He's gonna have a big divot in his head. And you know what? That's okay. He's still super cute. It's a super cute frog. This is the first time I'm using this mold, so I don't feel bad that I somehow managed to miss that. And that's okay. Always remember to cure both sides of your UV resin mold. Always cure both sides. Always. See, he's got a little hole in his head. That's okay. I really like how these came out. They're so shiny. I was really happy with the flower. The flower came out very nicely. Hardly any little divots at all. There were a couple, but I think it adds to it because they're right at the end. The solid goldfish didn't work so well, but that holographic gold, that is a nice holographic gold. I will put a little more gold powder on the backs of those two solid goldfish, and you'll never even notice that they weren't completely covered in the beginning. Next up, we'll take out the big piece. You definitely want to make sure that you peel the sides away before you try to take it out because you don't want to rip it. They're in there good. It came out so pretty. Now it has that blue to purple shift. I love it. It's so pretty. I just love working with chrome powders. Unfortunately, like I said, it did not cure the way it was supposed to. It leaked a little tiny bit, so I'll put it in and I'll cure it for like another 5 minutes. You know, once I plug it in, I'll cure it in for a while and then I'll put it in my window and it'll be fine. I got these little stones from Sophie and Toffee, I think. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But it was the last of them. I used them all up. And it makes a really nice bottom for the koi pond. I am going to do this in 4 layers. And I may or may not have messed up filming this. We'll see. You'll see soon enough. So the first layer is done. We're going to put a layer of little fishies in, and then we'll cure that. Put another little layer of fishies in, and then cure that. And when we're all done with those, we'll put a final layer on top and just set some of the other things on top of that layer so it looks like they're floating, like the lily pads, and little frog is going to sit on one of the pads, which may be a stone. I'm not entirely sure now that I'm looking at it, but I used it as a pad. With the frog sitting on top of it. Yeah, I can't tell anyway. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Anyways, on to the book mold that I had forgotten was actually a book mold. And I do think it's actually big enough for dice. I hadn't checked. I forgot to check. I should do that. These 2 little tiny pieces, one of them came out perfectly. The other one, I thought I had squeegeed all the bubbles out, but the second one really wants to hold on to bubbles. And it was really hard to get the bubbles out. But I will make a second pair of those so that they match. And they're going to be inside the hinges anyway, so you're not even going to see them. Now it comes time for the books. Get the book out. This is where everything goes to hell. Yeah, you can see, oh, it's stuck on the inside corner. And this is not a place where I'd be able to hit it with the torch. So I know that it's not the fault of the torch. I'm going to assume there was either a defect in the mold that made it textured and stick to the UV resin, or the UV resin got too hot and melted it a little bit, even though I didn't have any problems with any other spot in the mold itself. I still blame myself. But look at that. This is the moment where I was like, oh yeah, this is a book. It's cute. I should make more. Oh wait, I can't. Now I'm trying to figure out how the hinges go on, because there were no instructions that came with it. I had to go to the website and look at the pictures, but I figured it out. Here I'm making a new set of pins for the hinges. These will work a lot better. I couldn't see the bubbles underneath the glitter, but since it's clear, while that's curing, I will start applying the hinges. Wrong. Don't do it this way. This is so bad. I don't even know why I did it this way. I put the 2 hinges on one side, and then I tried to line up the hinges with the other one, and I can't get the pins in, so I will eventually pop these back off again, but because I used UV resin, it kind of messed it up. It's not square anymore. I should have just started over. Oh wait, I can't because it's ripped, right? Ugh. Anyways. I mean, it comes out well enough in the end. It's cute. It's not usable. I can't put anything in it. I really wanted this to be like a dice box, but maybe I'll buy the mold again. I think it's on sale right now. I don't know. We'll see. Here I go, just making sure that that everything fits. Getting the pin in the hinge and then realizing there's no way I'm gonna get the other hinge on there. So I pop off these hinges and do it the right way. Put the hinges together first and then pop them in to make sure that they fit. And they don't really fit anymore because I messed it up. But, you know, it works well enough to sit on a shelf and never be touched again. Don't want resin where it shouldn't be because then it will literally glue just the whole thing together. And we don't want that. So I get the first set of hinges in there and then I'll cure them good. And I'll put the second set of hinges in. And it works. It opens and closes kind of. And it's super cute. And if I had remembered that it was a book, I would have done the colors slightly differently. But this is what we get. Because I have the memory of a goldfish. But it's so pretty and glittery. So, I think these worked pretty well. Here's the mold for the fish pond. And here is the fish pond. It came out pretty well. The little frog has a hole in his head, but, you know, that's on me. I didn't make sure that I got all the little bubbles out, so, you know, that's okay. But I think it worked out pretty well. It's got depth. It's cute. Here is the little book mold. Rawr. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to use that again. And it's a little disappointing, but it's probably on me because I used a UV resin I probably shouldn't have, so anyways, here is the little book that I made. It's very shiny. It kind of sort of moves a little bit. I don't know. The mold is great, the concept is great. It's probably my fault. I screw everything up. But it doesn't matter because the only thing I cared about was this. I cared about this. I wanted this to work. I'll probably never use UV resin in it again because that was just, well, maybe for the fish. I'll probably use it for the fish, but probably not for the basin. And this, obviously, I won't be using again because I messed it up. So, even if I could use it again, and if I could, I would not use UV resin again, that's for sure. But, you know, it's pretty, it's cute, it can sit on my shelf. It's not like it's gonna get used for anything anyways. So, they came out, they worked, mostly. And the things that had problems were probably my fault, so. With all that being said, see you next time and stay safe. Hey there, Mr. Farty Pants. Did you find a string? Come here. Oh, you're a good boy. Oh, big fluffy belly. Oh. You want to see the people? Sniff, sniff. He's a good boy.